all of our vegetables are where we Santa vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. What are you telling me, Mario? There's no shirt du jour today on the program? So, there you go. Just maroon, no LSU, no Pels, no Saints, no Green Wave. Wow. That's right. We'll have to skip today's shirt du jour. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx at the controls. Corey Johnson with you. He's our producer every day. He usually has on some LSU, Saints, Pels, Tulane garb. And we created a segment because of it. That's a wonderful segment. Draws lots of viewers and listeners, and we find out what Mario's wearing. It's incredible. Anyway, it's Christmas week. Yeah, you right. Santa Claus loading up the sleigh. The reindeer have been training. They're ready to pull that sleigh all around the world. It's amazing. The thing that blows me away the most about Christmas, seriously. I mean, think about this, Mario Brothers. I mean, Santa Claus is a chunky dude, right? He's like a Paul Prudhomme-sized guy. He's going to need that little cart to tool around, you know? Just the fact that he can somehow stretch himself skinny and shimmy down chimneys all around the world is pretty amazing to me. Can't be overlooked. I mean, we watched Saints yesterday, Pels, a lot of athletic action going on. Show me how somebody about 2 times the size of Cameron Jordan can shrink up to about the size of, I don't know, a PVC pipe, a gutter pipe, and shimmy down the chimney of your average home.
While the athletic ability is very impressive, I think the main thing Santa has over athletes for this comparison is the consistency, man. The consistency of Santa Claus in every year. Very impressive.
Really? What now?
Am I using the right? Oh, wow.
There you go.
The mic is messed up.
I didn't hear anything from you. What were you saying about Santa?
I was saying that, the athletic ability is really impressive, but the consistency is the key thing with Santa.
In what regard?
Every house, every year, holding the...
Always getting it right as far as who's been good, who's been naughty, who's been nice, all that.
Getting the list correct every year.
Yeah, every year getting the list absolutely correct. Very, very few kids are like, yeah, I really needed that and I didn't get that. I think they know that, I threw that spitball at Jimmy in class, so Santa remembered it.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
When you're sleeping and when you're awake.
Yep. He's always watching. It's Santa Claus. Yep, Christmas week. That cat's going to be jumping on your roof soon and loading up the house full of goodies and gifts. It's great. I mean, when you're a kid, you want the gifts like crazy. You want the gifts, you expect the gifts. When you become an adult, you're like, you know what? It's so much more fun giving gifts. That's just how it works. I remember, Catholic boy in New Orleans, literally praying for specific gifts. I remember there was this Lego set, like 140 or something like that, 145. I think it was Lego set 145. And I remember praying, and because I went to let's see, I guess I was in probably 5th grade at St. Andrews on Oak Street, I'm guessing. 5th grade, 6th grade at St. Andrews on Oak Street. Maybe 7th grade at Trinity. That they had church, and I remember praying. I guess it was 5th grade at St. Andrews praying for that Lego set and getting the Lego set. Thanks, Santa. Jesus taking care of me. Just hardcore prayer. Jesus must be like, all right, we got to get with this guy. This isn't how the prayer thing works. Little Corey just pushing for Lego set 145, this specific item. We're going to have to work on him and how prayers work. Anyway, Catholic boy in New Orleans, what do you expect? Hey, mild weather. Like we said last week, about 10-day stretch. Waking up, high 50s, maybe around 60 in the morning, and kind of just foggy and humid. And it's like we're in a cloud when you wake up. Literally, like the clouds are on top of us. And everything's just wet. And it didn't necessarily rain. Anyway, that kind of thing, kind of foggy AM, humid, almost hot at times. I played a little golf yesterday morning when we teed off around 7:45 or so. It was kind of cool and comfortable. I was in shorts, but I had on like a little light, little thin, kind of athletic type top over my shirt. So I had like long sleeves. I removed that about 4 or 5 holes in. And then about 4 or 5 holes later, I remember I was like, man, it's almost getting warm. Like the last few holes, it was almost warm, like almost sweating. I remember telling my brother, I'm like, it's December, man. Almost sweating out here, but very mild weather. I know a lot of us are like, man, I wish it was cold for Christmas, all that. I don't know. I'm in a short sleeve shirt. I don't mind it. Anyway, mild weather. It's going to be high 50s, 60 degrees every morning, rolling to about what we have right now. What is it, Mario? About 75-ish, something like that? Yeah, it's definitely in the 70s. Oh, yeah. 72. And it's overcast, which is actually pretty good because there's a little bit of a breeze. Yeah, 72. Anyway, that little 15-degree swing every day, 57, 58, 59, 60 to about 72. And that's going to continue for pretty much, all week long, probably through the weekend. And then next week, we're expected to get down into the 30s and 40s next week, like a week from now. So enjoy the mild Christmas. Maybe New Year will be a chilly New Year. That'd be nice. That would be kind of cool, actually. Boy, you could go to the pool, could go to the beach house over Christmas weekend. I'm sure a lot of New Orleanians that have that beach house will be doing that. And then a week later, New Year, you're celebrating New Year, maybe in the quarter, and it's 40. Sweet. No, I love the non-summer season in New Orleans. Are you kidding me? Tulane's historic season is over, but it's historic. That means we'll be talking about it forever. And just like John Sumrall said, losing sucks. Anyone that likes losing, accepts losing, run from them, get away from them, because he's a winner. He's off to Florida, by the way. No, it sucks. Not a great way to win. To end the season, but winning the conference championship, going to the playoff, pretty cool stuff. And historic season that will be talked about forever. Folks still talk about 1998 and the 12-0 season. Folks talk about 1973. They talk about the 1940 Super Bowl. They weren't even alive for it. Sugar Bowl, excuse me. No, an incredible run, a fun run, especially when Pelicans, Saints, LSU all struggling. Tulane picked up the slack for locals. End of an era. John Sumrall off to Florida. Will Hall has big shoes to fill. Willie Fritz passing it to John Sumrall. No drop off. Just a smooth transition. Almost just like different. Almost different. Giants in uptown New Orleans, those two. As big as it gets. It's just that's going to be tough to keep the program elevated at that level, I think. I hope I'm wrong. But Fritz and Sumrall transformed that program. Tulane is a top 25 football program. I hope it just seamlessly continues under Will Hall, and I hope Will Hall's like, man, I want to stay here a long time. But anytime there's change and a new coach comes in and you've had such a ridiculously high level of success, just percentages, chances are, I don't care what program it is. LSU, look at LSU just now. Had to get rid of Brian Kelly. Thought they had the greatest coach. Now they have the greatest coach. Is that going to be Brian Kelly 2.0 or is it going to be Nick Saban 2.0? Everybody's keeping their fingers crossed that loves LSU. You never know. Any program anywhere. Look at Florida, hiring away John Sumrall because that once great program has struggled coach after coach after coach. No, it's tough. You can go to from Spurrier, and then you pull that guy out of Utah, Urban Meyer, and you can keep rolling, but it's tough. Fritz to Sumrall was fantastic. Hoping to Hall continues that.
I think you make a good point about Florida. For most of their history, they have not hired good coaches. But with Steve Spurrier and with Urban Meyer, that was the case. And maybe Sumrall could be the next, one of those.
LSU dominated the series against Florida. Spurrier comes along, and he's 14-1-1 or something against LSU or something like that. 14-1, 13-2. It just flip-flopped it to a much tighter series.
Yeah, the jobs always had potential. They may not support you quite as much as the LSU's and Alabama's, but if you're a good coach and you can kind of navigate around that, you can win big time in Florida.
No doubt. Oh yeah, Florida's it's like Nick Saban with LSU. Florida's almost like that. Just program waiting to be a national contender all the time. Audubon Gutters, put gutters on my house. Drew and his crew can do the same for you. You want to know what I like about Audubon Gutters? It's Audubon Gutters. It's New Orleans owned, 35 years at it. They're the standard. That's where everybody goes for quality work. But what I also like is they don't do paint or roofs or siding or windows. All they do are gutters for your home or business, featuring the Leaf Guard system. Get it and forget it. You'll literally never, ever have to clean your gutters again. AudubonGutters.com, AudubonGutters.com. Monday, Christmas week. Yeah, you right. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Corey Johnson with you. Coming right back.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Mario Brothers, aka Latinx. I think a lesson learned. What am I, like 10-1 on these sucker bets that I call out this year?
Since I've been here, you haven't lost much, man.
I'm telling you. And I nailed it with Tulane the other day. I said, you and I sat here and discussed it. I said, Mario, this is me with my heart and emotion. And it was all the stuff that gamblers, or I should say the bookies, love. Emotion. You're pulling for this team. It's what you want to happen. It's what you hope happens. You're thinking about the low percentage thing happening, and I feel it could happen this week. You feel good about it. That's why they play the game, blah, blah, blah. Upsets happen, all of this. So we're buying into this, and it's all these low percentage things. So, that was when Tulane can hang with them if they keep it close, time of possession, all this crap. And then I said, okay, Mario, my brain's working now. So for all you gamblers, remember me saying this, with no emotional tie or care about their running game's terrible, their defense can't stop the run. Vegas has all that factored in already. The sucker bet is Tulane. The gambler's pick is Ole Miss. Clearly, Vegas thinks Ole Miss is going to roll again. That's basically what I said, and that's exactly what happened. No, it's so funny. I don't give a crap. Like, I wanted Tulane to win, but I don't care. Like, I don't gamble. I don't have money on the line, and I'm not seeking out these selections. But sometimes it just yells, to me at least, Mario Brothers, like a sucker bet. Like, why is that line like that? And that the most glaring one was that UNO basketball beating TCU. They play LSU like 3 days later. LSU has sucked the last few years. LSU's favored by like 19. You're like, what? That's crazy. They don't, Vegas doesn't know about UNO. That's like the thought. And I'm like, nah, it's probably LSU by 20. Like they said, and they won by 34 or something like that.
That's exactly right. Like, Vegas takes a lot of stuff into consideration. Like, LSU is probably really good against non-conference opponents, like on weeknights. They probably won like 15 in a row like that. That's why the spread was what it was.
Pretty much ignore your knowledge or what you think you know about the team. Their offense is good. This team can't stop the run. All of this crap. Because most of the time, you're going to be wrong. It won't apply to that specific game. And you'll be wrong. That's most of the time. You remember the one where you were right. Like I told you, they didn't stop the run. Buffalo had trouble with that. And you won that bet and you cling to that. The 9 you lost before that, you conveniently forget those. So forget about everything you think you know about the teams. Throw that out. It's irrelevant. Vegas has already factored that into the line. And the second thing is, if you have emotion attached, like you like that team, you want them to win, you hope they win, don't bet on that game. I don't know what to tell you.
It goes both ways too. You could hate a team, like bet against Alabama the last few years, and you probably lost a lot of money.
No, I think the best thing to do, and I mean, every week, if you want to bet, you're going to go seek out games, and that is designed for you to lose. The only way you can shrink that percentage are the two things I just said, and let the games, come to you. Let the games come to you. Every week there may not be a game or two. And the weeks that the games do come to you, it may only be 1 or 2. So Corey Johnson says, double down on your picks. Call right now, 1-800-555-WINS. That's 1-800-555-WINS. I've got a 5-star selection. Sell the house, sell the boat. I would take the grandparents literally and sell them. Sell them to someone, the grandparents. Sell your children. Take all the money, this big pile of money, and push it on the picks. But the only way you're going to get him is my all-star phone line number, 800-555-WINS, 800-555-WINS. Corey, what's a good nickname?
I'm trying to think of a Corey-themed parlay already that's taking up my brain space. Sell your
I need a nickname, like, something like the Rifle.
Yeah. Or
the Bomber. Something.
Yeah. Big Easy Bomber.
Slaughterer. Corey Slaughter Johnson. He's got all the 5-star selections.
Crescent City Pickman. I don't know.
Yep, something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start being I'm gonna have to get an 800 number or something.
And once we do,
the old school.
Once we do, we'll get them sportsbook sponsors. So hell yeah.
$25 a call. Oh boy. It is Christmas week. Yeah, you're right. That's my gift to you right there. Selections and how to do it. Good night, everyone. Mario, wow. Can we start the program over, Mario? Let's start from scratch. Louisiana Public Service Commissioner Devonta Lewis, who, according to Democrats, is like a rising star amongst the liberals in Louisiana, arrested on DWI charges. A little speed bump or a big speed bump, pun intended, that'll set him back. You know, you take a few steps backward to go forward again. Louisiana Public Service Commissioner Devonta Lewis arrested on DWI. Jeff Landry, Trump appoints him special envoy to Greenland. He says he'll help persuade the citizens of Greenland to abandon Denmark and be part of the United States. Later, he goes to Canada. Jeez, that's just crazy. Hey, let's talk those Greenland citizens into abandoning Denmark and becoming part of the United States. Later this year, Denmark sends Bjorn Fjørgensen to Puerto Rico to try to convince the Puerto Ricans to abandon their ties to the United States and become a Danish state. Puerto Rico will become a Danish state, and Greenland could become the 51st or 52nd state, depending on Canada. Wow. I think Quinn Hillier, staunch conservative. I mean, go to the website. You can think he's not a conservative because maybe you're like a populist conservative. This guy's like a Ronald Reagan, George Will, Jack Kempf, long-time conservative, like since he was like 12. That's how hooked in he is. He said it best the other day. Gulf of Mexico. No, it's on all those policies. You can just throw them all in a box. Greenland, Canada, Gulf of America, Mount McKinley. Anyway, I call it Mount McKinley, Denali. I don't know why any attention to that. Well, actually, I do know. Because like him or not, Donald Trump is smart. Donald Trump is crafty, and Donald Trump is the master politician. I mean, conservative Republicans, I mean, I could say Donald Trump is the greatest of anything, and they're going to probably, if they're MAGA folks, they're going to be like, love what Corey's saying. And liberals, no matter what, especially the loony left, are going to hate what I'm saying. I just think it happens to be true. So you MAGA folks, embrace this. Corey Johnson, y'all might think I'm liberal, or they think I'm independent, whatever, thinks Donald Trump's the master politician. And you liberals, deal with it. Just think you're in denial if you think otherwise. No, he's got a new one. The latest and greatest. No, Trump is not stupid. He just decided just today that Christmas Eve, which is Wednesday of this week, and the 26th of December, which is Friday of this week, are now all of a sudden federal holidays. Federal holidays. So federal workers, I mean, I get mail about 4 days a week as is. 6 day a week mailman. That's just, it's like the black and white television, Gone with the Wind. No, federal workers like, post office will be closed on Christmas Eve and the 26th of December. No, Trump makes it a federal holiday. So now all those federal workers, I shouldn't say all of them, a lot of them are like, I like this Trump guy. Yeah, I didn't really care before. I was in the middle of the road. I could go either way, blah, blah, blah. I was on the fence. When he gave me Christmas Eve and December 26th off as a federal holiday, 2 days, getting paid, I like this guy. I'm voting for this guy.
And that kind of thinking, those little tiny things, I talked about this last week, goes in with like legalizing pot thing. No tip for waitresses or waiters. Removing the shower water head restrictor, the little plastic thing in there that where the shower head doesn't put out as much force pressure. No taking shoes off at the airport. Real sugar in Coke, in Coca-Cola. No, just smart, because you do for little tiny groups that it's almost insignificant, right? All of a sudden you got a half dozen of them, 8 or 10 of them, and it's a major group. They're all in the same boat, all doing different things, but all Trump gave me, no tax on my tips. Trump gave me 2 days of paid vacation, federal holiday. Trump gave me Coke with sugar instead of corn syrup. Those are like, it's like, I want sugar in my Coke and not corn syrup. How can you be against these things if it like applies to something that sort of connects to you? No, it's smart. You could say silly, goofy, ridiculous, whatever. A lot of votes. Saints on a 3-game win streak. What the why? Pelicans have won 4 in a row. What the why? Mario Brothers, you can come over here outside your little booth and slap me in the face on the air.
Okay.
Hey, you want to do it, huh? You want to do it, huh?
I've seen segments like that in the past.
Really?
Yeah.
It was slap off?
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
Might catch me in the temple or hurt my eardrum.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I wouldn't do that to you, bro. But I am also impressed with the Saints and Pelicans.
Yeah, they're on a little win streak. No, but it's hope. And hope is nice. Better than hopelessness and despair, gloom and doom. You can have all of that. I like hope. Legitimate hope, not fantasy land hope. Hey, man, they're 0-12, but I really think they're turning the corner. No, they're 0-12. No, Saints have won 3 in a row, and Shuck looks like a legitimate quarterback. You're like keeping your fingers crossed. Maybe we got like a, New England's got in May. Maybe we got like that kind of guy ready to be a starter and top dozen or so in the league where you can really win significantly with. And then the Pels, these youngsters, and Zion coming off the bench. Don't get suckered into this. You want it to go this way, Pelican fans. You want Zion to have incredible success. So maybe you can trade him and get something for him, because Zion Williamson has to go. Has to go. Can't be flaky about this. Coming right back.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
You're on the neutral ground.
He's on the radio.
With Corey Johnson.
Yeah, you're right. Monday afternoon edition of the program. Merry Christmas, everybody. Boy, social media is a big mess. All these posts about like Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. I mean, who cares? Seriously, people need to get a life. Honestly. I mean, I don't care either way. Like I say, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Either one. I don't even know which one I say more than the other. I don't think about it. I'm not saying Happy Holidays to be politically correct. I don't look at the group of people or the audience. Say Merry Christmas a lot of the time. I say Happy Holidays because it's bigger than Christmas Day. It's this, you know. I mean, we're in the Christmas spirit this week. Christmas is Thursday, but it's the holiday season. And then New Year is a week later. It's another holiday. So it's the holiday season. So folks are like, if you say Happy Holidays, you're just against Christianity and whatever. I'm like, I say it and I'm a Christian and a Catholic. So, and the opposite's true. If you're some like loony leftist that gets all offended that I said Merry Christmas, hey man, screw you, I'm Jewish or something. I don't know any Jewish person that would say that. So that's a bad example. I'm in New Orleans, you know, it's like someone saying a generalization against blacks or Italians. You know, I don't know any Jewish person that says, I'm offended by that. I'm Jewish. So that's a bad example. I'm trying to think who would be offended if I said, you know, Merry Christmas. I could go in Kebab House. They're Muslims. It's owned by Palestinians that are Muslims. And I could say Merry Christmas. They probably say Merry Christmas right back to me. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't. It's crazy. I know Hussein at Lebanon's Cafe, I could say Merry Christmas. He's a Muslim. He'd say Merry Christmas back. I mean, I'm Christian and Jesus is my God. Muslims think Jesus is a prophet. Like they think Muhammad's the man and Allah, but they think Jesus has got some significance. He's not some lightweight nobody. Anyway, and so do those Jewish folks. Your mom always said, don't talk religion or politics. It's kind of true. My mama never said that, but that expression's kind of true. Hard to find folks that are going to just line up exactly with you. Anyway, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. You folks that are offended, I said Happy Holidays. Sorry. You folks that are offended, I said Merry Christmas. Sorry. Deal with it. It's America. Can do what I want. America. What, Mario Brothers? You agree with that?
No, I like how you're saying America without the A.
Without the A,
yes,
that's right.
You're exactly right. That's what they say. No, I agree. I mean,
hey, Latino, did I give you the right to speak on my program? No comprende. Turn your mic off.
Yeah.
No, what? Anyway, go ahead.
No, I agree. That's probably pretty good advice. Like I personally am open-minded. I like getting my beliefs challenged, but that's generally probably a good rule.
Yeah. Why not? How can it not be? Common sense. Anyway. Tulane's historic season done. Louisiana Public Service Commissioner Devonta Lewis. It's like a rising star for the Democrats in Louisiana who desperately need rising stars. I mean, Louisiana's, I'm not going to say the opposite of New Orleans, but sort of. It's mostly Republican. It's a lot of hardcore right evangelical MAGA types that run the state. But
even those folks tolerate or accept some Democrats coming in. John Bel Edwards, 2-term governor. Man, in New Orleans, it's, not to beat a dead horse or broken record gimmick, whatever. New Orleans is pure Democrat and really hardcore left. Not like moderate. I'd say more closer to woke loony left than moderate. Hopefully that changes with Helena Moreno. One thing I worry about with Helena Moreno, it's sort of a catch-22, to be honest with you. I worry that she'll be like Mitch Landry. I mean, I think you're getting someone honest. They're out civic-minded. They're trying to help the city. But also they're politicians, and they feel they have to repay debt because that's these people got them elected. They got groups of people together. That person's significant. These people that voted for me are expecting me to give that person a, position of power, significance in my administration. So that worries me a little bit because Mitch Landry did that a lot. And the big example I always bring up, kind of the poster child for this, Cedric Grant, this political anointed appointed hack that goes back mayor after mayor, Sidney Bartholomew, Morial, it's ridiculous. Different little posts, always getting 6-figure salary, makes like $180 in retirement off our backs. And has a blank resume, really did nothing of significance for the city except get a free ride and pretend he did something every day. So that's tough. That's hard to overcome in New Orleans. So the Sewage and Water Board, Ghassan Corbin, I mean, I know it's a Junket Cantrell appointee. Give her credit. I don't give her credit much. Are you kidding me? She's terrible. But give her credit. That was a great choice. It wasn't a political anointed appointed hack. It was a pro out of Milwaukee that ran like a Sewage and Water Board up there, public service guy. In the 7 years he ran the Sewage and Water Board, he did more to improve it than maybe the previous 70, including Cedric Grant's worthless time as the head of the Sewage and Water Board. I've said this before, and I mean it. Cedric Grant can pick the person to come up with the test questions. He can pick the person. And I'll be quizzed on Sewage and Water Board knowledge with Cedric Grant, who used to run it, and I promise you I will score better and know more than he does about the Sewage and Water Board, sadly. Just from doing this show and having Sewage and Water Board guests on and asking them questions that are important. Terrible. So anyway, it's a catch-22. Here's the catch-22 part. Helena Moreno owes a lot of conservative Republicans. Not a lot, but a significant number, because some could have easily gone over to not so much Oliver Thomas, but definitely Royce Duplessis. I mean, to a lot of white conservative uptown type folks, Royce Duplessis is sort of unknown and new and saying the right things. Helena Moreno, they know she's pretty much a liberal. She's pretty hardcore left. So for New Orleans to win, it's got to be more balanced. I mean, I think all the time for the country to win, the state to win, the city, I like a balance. I'm not say 50-50. Whatever party's hot, let them have the majority, but whatever. But balance where each side has significant contribution. Each side listens to the other side. I think Louisiana suffers because we're kind of hardcore, wacky, right, evangelical. I mean, proof's in the pudding. We've been that way for a long, long time, this state. And New Orleans, I think, suffers. It's even more extreme. I mean, if you think the state, if you're a liberal and you're like, boy, the state's so wacky right, you're right, Corey. It's more moderate and more, willing to accept the other side than the city of New Orleans, where I can't think of a anointed, appointed, or elected Republican anywhere in city government. Can you? Is there a Republican in New Orleans city government? 766-9480. That's the number, by the way, to dial us up. 766-9480. Mario Brothers won't get this, but you folks that are 60 plus will. He reminds me of Ollie, the old LAS worker. He doesn't work much this time of year. What was the commercial? LAS siding, fight the uglies.
Hire this guy. He's a skilled siding installer who doesn't work much this time of year. And it was just this kind of pathetic looking dude with just sort of spinning a screwdriver on a table with like one hand on his cheek, just sort of bummed out that he wasn't working. That's Mario Brothers right now, aka Latinx. We want to make him Super Mario Brothers. We want him running the controls and fielding your phone calls and occasionally having to look up something arbitrary that I throw at him. How many people live in Greenland, Mario? 766-9480. No, Mario, how many people live in Greenland? I'm kidding. Now you're curious? All right, Mario, let's wager. I mean, it's got to be very few. I'm going to go with about 5 million. 5 million is the size of Louisiana. That's Greenland. That can't be 5 million. Exactly. It's too high, right? Yeah. Exactly. Hang on, Mario. The hint was not even close. Yeah. Is it under 1 million?
Yes, it's well under 1 million.
Geez and Pete's, like Orleans and Jefferson Parish have more population. Orleans and Jefferson Parish, about 700,000-800,000 people.
Yeah, this is the world's least populated territory, remember.
Greenland?
Yes, very icy.
I know that, but I mean, there's Reykjavik and other places.
It says it's around 56 to 57,000 people.
In Greenland,
yes,
in the whole country.
In Greenland, yes, that's what AI says.
How many people live in, what is it, Reykjavik?
Denmark.com says 56,000, so yeah. Reykjavik, is that the capital?
Yeah, well, maybe is that, I'm showing my ignorance, Iceland or, no, that's Greenland.
No,
Greenland.
19 to 20,000.
That's it, living that? I thought that was like a city.
Yeah, no, it's.
They had an Olympics there, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, click on that. Olympics. Didn't they?
Greenland capital Olympics. Hold on.
I think. I don't know.
I don't think so, honestly.
No.
It does not. There's a Reddit thread about doing it there in 2040, but no.
Okay. All right. I guess just political summits and crap have happened there.
Yeah, that is a really low population, man.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe that. I thought that was like a city with, 500,000 people and then a bunch of other little towns and stuff.
Yeah, they have an Olympic team, but they haven't hosted an Olympics.
Wow. Anyway, trying to turn that country into the United States, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best plan.
Wow. But we don't want Puerto Rico because those are Democrat voters, or DC. Don't want DC. Too many Democrats. Don't need those as states. 766-9480. 766-9480. Yeah, Jeff Landry, Trump appoints him special envoy to Greenland. Jeff Landry says he's going to try to persuade the citizens of Greenland to essentially abandon Denmark and be part of the United States. The security part, national security, for sure. But we're already an ally with Denmark. They're part of NATO, and Greenland's part of NATO. Anyway. 766-9480. 766-9480. Young's Dry Cleaning. It's Christmas time. You got that suit, that dress, that blouse, that outfit. How about fine linens and napkins? Drapes at the house. You got family and friends coming over. Young's can take care of it. Young's Dry Cleaning. A New Orleans institution. Rugs and runners in your house. Whatever you need. I mean, anything pretty much fabric, material, cloth. Young's can get it like brand new clean. Young'sDryCleaning.com. And of course, your clothes. Young'sDryCleaning.com. I picked up over the weekend. Thought I had about a dozen button-down shirts over there. Had 18. Like a lot of the wardrobe. I was like, holy smokes. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Check them out. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Coming right back. Don't move.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
When you need a new fence or automatic gate at your property or place of business, anywhere in Metro New Orleans, you got to see the Fence Man. For over 20 years, the Fence Man has been taking care of residential and commercial customers affordably and reliably. The Fence Man uses only the highest quality materials and products, whether wood, aluminum, or chain link. For fences and automatic gates, you got to see the Fence Man. TheFenceman-NewOrleans.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Artificial turf custom golf putting green. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And
You'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it.
let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground.
I have Corey Johnson on the radio. Sometimes he makes sense, so listen to his show.
With Corey Johnson.
Yeah, you're right. Mr. Okra's back. I love Mr. Okra. That's pure New Orleans. Christmas week. Yeah, you right. Mild weather. Pretty nice. It's going to be cold next week. Like next Monday and Tuesday, temperatures in the 30s and 40s. When I heard that earlier today, when I found that out earlier today, I was like, this is kind of perfect, to be honest with you. I don't mind. If it was going to be hot for the next few weeks, that would sort of suck. Because it's foggy in the morning and it's humid and it's kind of warm. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's not uncomfortable. But like yesterday, I was playing golf and the first few holes, it was coolish. The middle few holes, it was like take off the little top I was wearing. The last few holes, I was like, it's almost hot and it's December. I'm almost sweating out here. Not a big deal. I'm just saying, like, we don't want to sweat on Christmas Day. You know what I mean? But it's 72. The breeze is blowing. It's overcast skies. It's not bad at all. Mild weather. So I'll take this all week through Christmas, this 60s when you wake up, 73 for the high. Because next week it's going to be cold. So New Year, it might be, walking around the quarter, whatever, lighting fireworks, whatever you're doing, going to a New Year's Eve party, it might be like 40 degrees. And that'll be really nice. No, I said it earlier. I love the non-summer season in New Orleans because we get exactly this. In a month, you're like, how was it? It was great. Christmas was like 73 degrees Christmas Day. New Year's Day, it was 43 degrees. It's great. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Hey, folks, a couple of driving tips. Right on red is legal. If you're at a red light and you want to turn right at that red light and the light is red, unless there's signage saying otherwise, like a sign saying no turn on red, otherwise it's legal to turn right on red.
Like if you're on the corner of Carrollton and Earhart, say, by the Popeyes, it's okay to turn right on red right there. It's legal. Also, driving with your hazard lights on in Louisiana is against the law. Also, driving in the left lane. There's a reason I don't live in Slidell, beelining through the east across the twin span, or living in the east to get to the east, the high rise, etc. There's a reason I don't live on Dar Best Bank, the Crescent City connection. There's a reason I don't live in Laplace, the twin span from Canada to Laplace. There's a reason I don't live on the world's most expensive gated community, the North Shore, the Causeway, because too many of you folks, you, not you, you're a good person. That guy behind you over there, that dude, exactly, that idiot, that guy. He drives in the left lane. Boy, that's just aggravating. Folks that drive in the left lane burns me up, lights my fuse. I get injected with road rage, and I ram cars. I ram vehicles on the interstate at high speeds. It's crazy. I got these police bumpers put on my car. I just ram folks now. Oh, wow. Can't do that. That would be against the law, dangerous, and you need to go to jail if you are taking me seriously there. But road rage does kind of, the fuse gets lit when people drive in the left lane, either deliberately, by default, don't know any better. I'm just here to inform you. I mean, you may not like it or not, but it's against the law to drive in the left lane. The speed limit's kind of irrelevant. I'm not saying speeding's legal, but if you're in the left lane driving and you're doing the speed limit and someone barrels up behind you that's clearly speeding, if you don't allow them to pass, you're breaking the law too. The speeder may be breaking the law, but maybe someone trying to get to the hospital. Lady's pregnant, about to have a baby. Get out of the way. Might be some drunk idiot. Might be just some moron who's in a hurry. When I see someone barreling up my rear end, I get out of the way. You want to know why? Because they blow by me and that situation is over with. It ends. Blocking them, being belligerent, not passing aggressively is insane. Belligerent. Don't be Junket Cantrell. Junket Cantrell drives in the left lane. I mean, I don't know if she literally does, but her mentality would be driving in the left lane. Don't be Junket Cantrell. Be Corey Johnson. Get over to the right. Let people pass. Because Corey wants to pass. 766-9480. 766-9480. Same thing like when you're pulling up by a stoplight. If you're just driving with the flow of traffic, don't get over to the open lane. Leave the open lane open for someone that wants to pass the big glut of traffic. I don't want to drive around a bunch of other cars. I don't want to drive on the interstate next to an 18-wheeler for like a minute. I want to just get by them and get out of the way. People are strange. People have strange driving habits. I look at my rearview mirror. Someone's on my rear end. I get out of the way. I accelerate, get over to the right, and let them pass.
My one pet peeve driving is when I'm trying to get over into the next. My one pet peeve driving is when I'm trying to get over into the next lane, and the person can either speed up and let me go behind them, or they could slow down and let me go past them. But they decide to go the optimal speed to screw me.
No, I don't get it. Literally, there are people. It's crazy. Like they will, two people just driving the same speed, no one passing another. Like I'll get up. I mean, you want to know it's a tough drive. I mean, it's not even a commute on the interstate, but like living out at the lakefront or Lakeview, and you get off at West End, and you're trying to get to like Allen, Tucson, or you're trying to get to Harrison or Fillmore. People just drive the same speed in the left lane as they do in the right. They don't like pass in the left to get over to the right. No, I don't care which lane. If you think, okay, it's not an interstate, Corey, I don't have to drive fast in the left lane. I might be turning left, whatever. One lane, go faster than the other. Exactly. One lane, go faster. If you're going to go the same speed, get over in one lane and y'all can drive the same speed together. That's just a painful street. And, that kind of stuff just drives me crazy, Mario Brothers. Cause people to wreck, cause road rage. Oh, boy. I just got put in my place, Mario Brothers, by a buddy of mine. Rasher freshen. He got me. Should I admit to the public how he just totally put me in my place?
Yeah, sure.
Slapping me around. It's a friend of mine. Text me. Mark out there. How about using your blinkers? I kind of just float around on the interstate, and I'm not a big blinker user.
Can't do that either, man.
Well, they're big gaps. I mean, it's not like it's tight. Yeah. But also, like, I thought about it. I did think about it, Mark. And I don't want to notify, because I was about to say, you'll go to pass Mario when two people are going the same speed on a street, and then someone will accelerate. It's like, dude, you were blocking me. Now I can pass, and you're accelerating, so I can't pass. So I think, Mark, the reason I don't use my blinkers, I'm serious. I've thought about it. You're right. I can't argue with you. You're ultimately right. But I don't want to notify the other drivers, especially the jerks, that I'm going left or right, because they might accelerate and block me and not allow it. I think that's why I don't use my blinkers. But I use them more now because of you. Put me in my place, Mario.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And
You'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it.
let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock powwow. Christmas week. Let's do this thing. Yeah. Got some good news today. Good news, bad news. We all know this week's going to be wake up around 60, high temperature around 73 for like the next week. And some folks are bummed out. It's Christmas week. We got this very mild, humid, foggy in the morning, wet weather. Not rain wet, just humid. That's right. Drew Brees is right. It's New Orleans. It's the non-summer season. Could be cold, could be mild, could be hot. You never know. Anyway, so I hear you. It's Christmas. You don't want it to be short pants, flip-flops, and T-shirt weather, but that looks like what we're getting. But next week, at least the beginning of next week, and it looks like it's going to stretch into the new year, colder, like 30s and 40s. And that works just fine with me. Christmas, 73 degrees. New Year night, 43 degrees. A-okay with that. Mild weather, pretty nice. Yeah, it can be foggy in the morning, humid, almost hot, but I'll take it. And like I said, a week of this, and next week it gets very cold, 30s and 40s to start next week. Christmas week. Christmas is Thursday. President Donald Trump, he's smart. He's smart when it comes to these little gimmicks, getting little groups together on his side. He got a new one, federal holiday, Christmas Eve and December 26th. The day before Christmas, obviously Christmas Day is a federal holiday, and the day after. So if you're a federal worker, you're like, boy, this president just gave me 2 more days off of paid time. I don't have to work 2 days, and I get paid for it. So I'm not saying every federal worker, maybe it's not the majority, who knows? But enough of them are voting for Donald Trump now. Because a lot of people, it could be federal worker, it could be architect, plumber, whatever. Any group out there, there are a lot of people on the fence. Yeah, I voted for Kamala Harris. I voted for Donald Trump. I voted for Jill Stein. Like, I know for folks that voted for Kamala Harris and would never vote for Trump, and folks that voted for Trump and never would vote for Kamala Harris are like, how could you be on the fence? Because it's America, and a lot of people think a lot of different ways. So any group of people had a certain percentage, I'm sure it's small, that were on the fence, that could have gone any way. Now they've fallen over to the Donald Trump side. The percentage of federal workers that were on the fence, they're now on Donald Trump's side because they just got 2 days of holiday. Legalized pot, I don't know the percentages, but the folks that want marijuana legalized, the ones that were on the fence politically, now are in Donald Trump's corner because he legalized pot essentially, or moved it from category 3 to 1, or 1 to 3, 1 to 3. No tips for waitresses and waiters. If you're a waitress and waiter and you're in the undecided category, chances are you've fallen under the Trump side. You want me to go on? TikTok went from banning it to saving it. Remove the shower head water restrictors. No taking shoes off at the airport. Make America healthy again. Real sugar and Coke. Said crypto was a sham to embracing it. Silicon Valley liberals to Silicon Valley MAGA. This guy just gets little groups, and then all of a sudden, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 little groups equal a significant voting block.
You can sit there and hate Donald Trump. You can sit there and love Donald Trump. You can be somewhere in the middle, whatever. The guy's the master American politician of our day, of our era. He knows how to get people going. I mean, the biggest fear of the Republican Party is like Tulane losing Sumrall. Who's going to come next? And are they going to be able to move the needle like this guy? And I don't see how anyone can come after. I'm not saying Republicans can't win. I don't see how anyone can move the needle like Donald Trump has moved the needle. There's no politician I've ever seen in my life that does what he does. And Republicans have no replacement for that. But you're also going up against the Democrats, and they don't have anyone, period. So we'll see. Christmas week. Yeah, you're right. Tulane's historic season is done, but it'll be talked about forever. Like I said, historic season. I mean, you can talk about hopelessness and despair and gloom and doom, or you can talk about hope instead of hopelessness. And I see a lot of hope with Tulane. They're a top 25 program right now. They went from Willie Fritz to John Sumrall. They didn't miss a beat. You could say Sumrall took them to a higher level, making the playoff. Willie Fritz, the Cotton Bowl win. Tremendous. Against USC. Are you kidding? But it is the end of an era. That Fritz to Sumrall transition was smooth. Will Hall has big shoes to fill. And I like what Will Hall said. I had him on the program a few weeks ago. He talked about taking the great things of Willie Fritz that he learned under him, the great things he learned under John Sumrall. But then he said, like, I asked him about, Michael Arata with the Fear the Wave collective. There, he posted something about Willie Hall's not like continuing the success. He's taking it up another level. He's going up a level. And I love that attitude. That's better. That's a better answer than I love what Willie Fritz has done. I love what John Sumrall does. Hopefully I can continue their success. No, I'm telling you confidently, I'm here to take it to another level. That's what we're here to do. Take it up a level. And that's a hell of a good answer. So I hope Will Hall's right. I hope he can get the job done. I hope Tulane doesn't miss a beat. He talked about Tulane being a quarterback destination. I love that. And it's true. I mean, depending on where Retzloff goes in the draft and which team he lands on, if he makes it in the NFL as a backup, most likely for now. But Tulane's had a pretty good history of quarterbacks. So we'll see. Anyway, no, it's scary. But that is, a scary thing for the Republicans. How do you replace Trump? For Tulane, how do you replace Sumrall? We'll see. Louisiana's Public Service Commissioner, Devonta Lewis, who's like a rising star. If you're a Democrat in Louisiana, you're a liberal, you look at this guy as like a rising star. Hopefully someone that can elevate the party. And I think eventually they're like thinking of this guy's like someone to run for governor, lieutenant governor. We'll see. He was arrested over the weekend, a DWI charge. That's definitely a setback. Jeff Landry, Donald Trump appoints the Louisiana governor, special envoy to Greenland. Says he'll help persuade the citizens of Greenland to essentially abandon Denmark and embrace the United States. Weird. It's weird, wacky stuff. There's a huge sucking sound coming out of Mexico. Saints have won 3 in a row. Way to go. Was that the last home game, huh, Mario Brothers? A.K.A. Latinx? That was the last home game, right?
Yeah, last home game until next season.
Last home. You're up?
Yeah, I'm up.
Okay. I didn't know if your mic was on.
No, trying to not touch it too much. I think we found a sweet spot here.
There you go. Saints have won 3 in a row. Boy, that Taysom Hill, Cam Jordan. I mean, Taysom Hill sounds like he's done, but is it as a Saint? And does, Sean Payton in Denver come calling? Or is he done? And Cameron Jordan sounds like there's still gas in the tank, he says, and would like to play. I mean, that back-to-back sack thing was pretty cool. It is the Jets, one of the worst teams in the league. Demario Davis, not a lot from him, but he's 36 years old. So that trio kind of the backbone of the Saints. What's going to happen with those guys? It was interesting. Cameron Jordan and Taysom Hill were like crying.
Yeah, I had heard like some people around Cam Jordan were almost like offended by how a lot of people were like assuming it was his last game, like kind of giving him a hero send off. I guess with Taysom, the emotion was way more apparent. Like he got a little choked up in the post game press conference. Like he sounded like a man that was playing maybe not his last game, but likely his last game with the Saints.
Well, yeah, I mean he's under that contract, which was like $10 million a year, something insane.
Yeah,
exactly. And it ends at the end of this season, so he'll be a free agent. Do the Saints sign him back? And how much do you have to pay him at his age and his productivity? I mean, if I don't know if he was worth the $10 million a year, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
Like, did you get $10 million in productivity versus the salary cap and what you need to get? Like a money ball equation.
Yeah.
I think he's a fan favorite. I love Taysom Hill. He's a great player, but is he worth $10 million a year to a team?
I thought that was at least a debate then, because I don't think you can go about just the stats, right? Like he's a player that does so many different things, really confuses defenses and stuff like that. But now I don't think it's as much of a debate. Like he's clearly lost a step and is not the player that he used to be.
Boy, Jeff Duncan had an interesting line in there. It's like faster than Alvin Kamara, stronger than linebackers, just crazy.
I mean, he's unlike anything I've ever seen. He's still, like I said, the current Taysom Hill is not what he used to be, but as a whole, he had a legendary career, and he's one of the more unique players in NFL history. I mean, yesterday became the first player ever with 1,000 receiving yards, rushing yards, and passing yards.
Yeah.
So
it's got like over 2,000 passing and rushing. And now
he
just got over 1,000 receiving.
Yeah,
crazy.
Speaking of Jeff Duncan, I was also seeing a tweet from him that Taysom Hill is technically ineligible for the NFL Hall of Fame because you had to have at least one postseason accolade, i.e., you need to have like a Pro Bowl appearance or an All-Pro designation, and Taysom does not have any. Of that.
Really?
Yeah.
To be in the NFL Hall of Fame, you have to have at least a Pro Bowl or a All-Pro designation after the season, at least one.
Yes.
To make the Hall of Fame.
Yes, verifying right now. Yes.
Wow. Jeff Duncan's article on Taysom Hill was really good. He mentioned like a half dozen QBs, including the Saints bringing that guy in from Mississippi State, like trying to duplicate what Taysom Hill does, and it's just not duplicatable.
That's exactly right.
Anyway, Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Christmas week, 5 o'clock powwow. Like to talk? 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Merry Christmas, New Orleans.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe. If you got to have a fence, you got to see the Fence Man, a locally owned, fully insured fencing company serving the metro New Orleans area for over 20 years. You got to see the Fence Man. thefenceman-neworleans.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Monday afternoon edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm not trying to wreck a business. I'm incapable of doing that. This is a multi-million-dollar business. They do a lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars in sales annually. I wish them nothing but the best. I'm serious. Sadly, I'll probably continue to go there just out of convenience, and I get these other things on the menu. But no, they'll always do well, even in New Orleans, because people drink a lot, and then you get this item sizzling in butter, and it's hard to mess up something sizzling in butter. What am I talking about? I'm talking about New Orleans' own Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. It used to be New Orleans' own. Ruth Fertel started it. It's a great story. There was Chris Steakhouse on Broad in Bienville. The building's still there with the red tile roof. The new owner tried to take it down. The city came in and stopped it. Thank goodness. Whatever. Someone should reopen that as a steakhouse. Anyway, that was Chris Steakhouse, a Croatian guy who owned the steakhouse. He owned it for decades, and he'd run it for a while and do really well. And then someone would offer to buy it, and he would sell it to them. And they would not run it as well, and they would struggle. And in a few years, he would buy it out from them for pennies on the dollar, buy them out of bankruptcy, whatever. He did this a few times. In the 60s, Ruth Fertel came along. She had an engineering degree, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say engineering. Mario, you may have to look it up. Ruth Fertel, Fertel. Which degree did she have from LSU in Baton Rouge? I almost think it's not engineering now. What did Ruth chemistry, maybe? Chemistry
and physics, yeah.
Chemistry and physics, yeah. Degree from LSU.
From LSU, graduating at 19 years old.
Yeah, at 19.
Yeah.
I mean, Ruth Fertel was an animal. So she mortgages her house and buys Chris Steakhouse on Broad Street. And she's literally cutting the steaks herself by hand and serving them and taking it to another level. And then I forget, there was either a fire at that location or she wanted a second location. And the original deal was there's only one Chris Steakhouse and you can't franchise it. You get this location and this name only. So she opened down the street, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Ruth's Fertel. She bought Chris Steakhouse. That's how the name Ruth's Chris came along. It's Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. So the original on Broad and Bienville stayed in operation. The new location, back then new, the second location, Broad and Orleans, 50 feet off Broad and Orleans, started running. What happened was one was for the oil and gas industry. One was for the politicians. At one time, there were 4 Ruth's Chris Steakhouse here. The 2 on Broad, Metairie, and the West Bank. I think it's the Beef Connection now. And the one on Vets was Forest Steakhouse for you old timers. I don't even remember that. That's just from word of mouth. People tell me that. And then it's been Ruth's Chris since the 70s. I think the first franchise was TJ Moran from TJ Ribs in Baton Rouge. He used to come to New Orleans. He loved the steaks. So Ruth Fertel granted him a franchise. So that's how it was born. And then
Locations like popped up in other places like Lafayette and Mobile, Alabama. And then New Orleanians, I think like the Brooks family of New Orleans, they own like the Atlanta territory. They own like Atlanta, Birmingham, Alabama, like 6, 7, 8 roost locations in that area. Jay Batt, who just passed away, he had Asheville, North Carolina Roost Chris. There's a Roost Chris in Destin now, has been for years. So they're all over. There's hundreds of them. After Katrina, they decided to move out of New Orleans and move to Orlando, and immediately started changing things dramatically. Like the board went from, Ruth Fertel and well, she had passed away, but a bunch of her people and New Orleanians to worked at TGI Fridays, worked at Olive Garden, worked at Applebee's. It was like that type of thing. Like, we're making it corporate. We're running it out like a corporation. Forget this New Orleans crap. Forget this mom and pop. We're in Orlando now. Let's expand, blah, 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 blah. And then things happened like, why do we get these Vidalia onions? We can get onions from so-and-so and save $600,000 a year. Why don't we go with this instead of these tomatoes? We can save $1.3 million a year. So they started doing that. And when you change a dozen things, the whole thing changes. And then instead of big pieces of meat coming in and every Roost Chris having a butcher that hand cut every single slab that came in, hand cut. You go to Roost Chris, go, I want a high-rise strip to make it 16 ounces, the lower part of the loin where it's not as wide. They got to cut it taller. That's why they call it a high-rise. You get to the fatter end, it's a skinnier because it's a wider steak. Whatever. It was all hand-cut. Every Roost had a butcher. All USDA prime beef. Only prime. Across the board. Fillets, strips, ribeyes, everything. So slowly but surely, getting out of New Orleans, corporate run, cutting corners to make more money. Choice fillets instead of prime because it's choice, it's tender. No one can tell the difference. I can. And folks that know can, even with smothered in butter, more marbled filet tastes better, more flavor. When a filet is basically flavorless compared to like a strip or a ribeye especially. So they cut in corners. And then, I mean, literally, I would go in there and get a steak and have to return it because it just wasn't good. And then I stopped doing that. And I really like the chicken at Roost Chris. Isn't that sinful? This chicken, kind of a double chicken breast with the drumette still hooked on, boneless, but the skin's still on. It's pretty good. Roost got rid of Leidenheimer bread for a while in New Orleans. I was on social media freaking out about it. And they brought back Leidenheimer French bread. So always trying to cut corners, whatever. Roost Chris today is owned by Darden. These are the folks that own the Olive Garden. So coming soon to a Roost Chris near you, all you can eat breadsticks, I guess. Anyway, I went to Fulton Street because I love the building. I love the restaurant. When it's good, it's good. But most of the time, sadly, especially steaks, it suffers, I think. Went in with a group of like 15 people for lunch. 15 of us. I ordered a petite filet. Didn't realize they had like the lunch special menu was available because it was a big group. I didn't think that was available. Anyway, some people ordered the lunch special, which is like a even smaller filet. I think my filet was 9 ounces. They got like a 6-ounce lunch special, and it had some shrimp and a salad. My steak comes, their steak comes. Exact same steak. My 9-ounce filet, same size as their 6-ounce. They had shrimp and a salad. I paid for my salad. My steak was $20 more. It gets worse. These fillets are from the butt end of the steak. So first off, it's choice, not prime. And then I'm getting the butt end of the filet. The filet has a tail, that little tail part. You can't make a steak out of that. You cut off like 6 inches of that. From that point on, you've got center cut fillets till it starts widening out to the butt end. And the butt end is a lesser quality, lesser desired, not as tender, not as flavorful, even for a filet steak that most people don't want. So just my message to Darden. At Roost Chris, if you're going to go to choice filet, not prime, at least make it a center cut steak. At least make it a center cut, not the butt end. The steaks we all had they looked like a hamburger, literally. It was about an inch thick at best, maybe an inch, and a big, wide butt end piece instead of like a little nugget. I want something that's like, a baseball would probably be like a 12 or 15 ounce filet, too big. Something smaller than that, but that kind of idea, like almost as tall as it is wide, not some big flat hamburger type steak. Anyway, Darden, you're going to own something like Ruth's Chris. Respect it. Respect New Orleans. Respect Ruth Fertel. And quit cutting obnoxious corners. Call me if you need some consultation. I'll get you back to where you need to be. Terrible. Anyway, I can't hurt Ruth's Chris. And you know what sucks? Downtown on Fulton Street, the blonde waitress, friendly with her, very nice, sweet, does a great job. The lady who works there, the blonde, does a great job, dedicated server. I wish them the best. I'll go back there and eat again. I'll get chicken or a burger or something like that, steak sandwich. I don't know. I'm a glutton. I might try New York strip one time or something. If you can get me a center cut filet, I may have to actually ask for that. And I'll go to Metairie. Mark, the bartender at Metairie, is a great guy. I love this guy. Super sweet guy. As good as it gets. Kind of guy you want your, daughter to marry, your son to grow up to be like. I'll go there and get a burger and get the chicken and continue to go there because I grew up on that stuff. Ruth Fertel, it means something to me. It's like in my heart. But boy, it's disappointing when it sucks. Got to do better, Darden. We don't want all you can eat breadsticks. We just want our old Ruth's Chris back. New Orleans style, baby. Oh, boy. I just ripped Ruth's Chris for like a good 5 minutes, Mario Brothers. It's Christmas week. I got to do better.
Yeah, more on your Twitter if you missed that.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I saw.
Oh, yeah, I was kind of upset about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I told you my opinion about them, so.
What's that?
That there's Ruth Chris is fine, but I feel like in New Orleans there are so many good steak places.
There's so many great prime steakhouses. There's so many places that have prime steaks that aren't even a steakhouse. There are places that have a choice steak that are pretty damn good. No, there's probably, sadly, like just pure steak. People love the environment. They love the sizzling and butter, all that kind of stuff. They get drunk. They don't even know what they're eating, There's a good 25 or 30 steaks that are better, I would say, in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I always talk about it. I went in the other day. I got that dip sandwich, that prime rib that you dip in the au jus. I'm always talking about Houston's on St. Charles Avenue. They have that is the single best filet mignon. If you like a filet, the only reason I'm eating it because trying to get the protein and keep it lean, I'd rather a strip or a ribeye. But Houston's on St. Charles Avenue has the best filet in the city of New Orleans. And I don't even know if it's necessarily close. I shouldn't say that. There's probably some, a filet at Chop House is damn good. Dickie Brennan's has a good filet. That smoked filet at Mr. B's is fantastic. Now, there's a bunch of good fillets, but the Houston's filet, it's prime, it's marbled, it's from Allen Brothers. That's the purveyor out of Chicago. It kicks ass. It's incredible. It's like $62, but it is absolutely fantastic. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, I know it's blasphemy. Houston's on St. Charles Avenue. I like Clancy's. I like Brightson's. I like Le Petit Grocery. I like Patois. I like Irene's. I like Bayona.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
The true voice of New Orleans, telling it like it is. Corey Johnson.
Yeah, you're right. Let's do this thing. 5 o'clock powwow, a Christmas week. Gotta love that. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow this afternoon brought to you by Kiefer and Kiefer. To find out more, KieferandKiefer.com, a New Orleans law firm for decades, committed to their clients. If you have a real injury, if you have a real claim, if you need a real lawyer, they can deliver real results. Kiefer and Kiefer is for you. If you're not injured or you don't have a real claim, but you're trying to take advantage of the system, Kiefer and Kiefer is not for you. Real injuries, real claims, real lawyers. KieferandKiefer.com. Christmas week, mild weather, but next week, a week from today, it's going to be like 30s and 40s in New Orleans. So finding that news out today, I'm pretty content with this mild weather all week. At first, I was like, man, I want a cold Christmas, and I'd still like that. But it's not going to happen. And that didn't depress me. But if it went into next week, like 2 weeks straight of, 60s and 70s this time of year, I'd be like, man, this sort of sucks. So 30s and 40s a week from today. Tulane's historic season is done, losing to Ole Miss over the weekend in the college football playoff. John Summerall off to Florida. End of an era. The Willie Fritz, John Summerall era. Hopefully Willie Hall seamlessly continues it, or like he said, takes it up to a higher level. It's Monday. It's a little after 5:30. Brett Martell, another Martell Monday. Brett Martell's been with the Associated Press for nearly 30 years. Hey, Merry Christmas, Brett. What up, bro?
Hey, how you doing? Great time of year in New Orleans, huh?
You got to love the holiday season in New Orleans, Brett. I mean, Christmas, fading into New Year, throw in all the other stuff. Tough to beat.
Well, the weather's more tolerable in terms of the heat, and it's festive, and obviously Sugar Bowl too. It's coming up, big game. Unfortunately for Tulane fans, not the team they wanted, but should be a really, really compelling matchup between Ole Miss and Georgia.
Yeah, all SEC Sugar Bowl. coming up on New Year's Day. Hey, what about Tulane's historic season, Brett? Summerall said it best, losing sucks. Anyone accepts that, you want to run from them. He's a winner. Tulane's a top 25 football program now. They made the college football playoff. They got routed by Ole Miss. All the folks that said James Madison, Tulane shouldn't be there. They, throwing up the Notre Dames and all these teams that should have been in the playoff, whatever. Summerall's off to Florida. End of an era, Brett. Will Hall be able to continue this Fritz Summerall success? That's the $50 million question, isn't it?
Yeah, just remains to be seen. He obviously did not have a good first go around at Southern Miss, but it's a different school, different situation. A lot of times I think what you see is guys who are really good as coordinators. If they don't have a good first, go around as a head coach, they usually get a second chance somewhere along the line because every situation is different, but when they fail in two different situations, then it's tough for them to get a third one.
No doubt.
And you see that in the NFL with guys like Josh McDaniel and Dennis Allen, and are a couple examples, right? So
Jim Haslett.
Yep, Haslett. So the funny thing is Haslett wasn't horrible with the Saints until the last year, right? I mean, he just kept kind of barely missing the playoffs, but some of that was just his stubbornness with the Jake Delhomme situation. But anyway, look, some guys are great as coordinators and just don't work out as head coaches.
No doubt.
We don't know yet if Hall is that guy because the sample size maybe just isn't big enough yet. He did have one, I think it was one winning season at Southern Miss. I want to say it was like
the first year. I think the first year they were 6-6. I think he won the bowl game, and they were 7-6.
Right. So I know that a lot of the players at Tulane like him, and they were happy that he was promoted. But some of that is just human nature because you're familiar with a guy who's doing well in his previous role.
And they're going to be 40 new players on that team next year that aren't on the roster right now.
Yeah. And so now he did have a lot to do with recruiting Michael Pratt to Tulane.
Yep.
And so he having been a quarterback who overachieved I don't want to say overachieved, but he wasn't heavily recruited. He got the Division II equivalent of the Heisman when he was a quarterback, and was a really good head coach at the lower levels too, which means that he does have some ability when it comes to the organizational skills that are different from being a coordinator, right? In terms of managing a staff and managing a roster, knowing what everybody needs to hear on a given day,
to
be the best version of themselves. So. At lower levels, there's a lot of good signs there. It's really just that one blemish on his resume at Southern Miss. And, David Harris, when they hired him, said he didn't want that to be an overriding factor. He said they had to consider it. They had to listen to what he had to say about it. Unfortunately, they didn't really share with us what he had to say about it. I mean, Will Hall didn't want to talk about it. And I kind of understand because a lot of coaches don't like to make excuses and they don't like to burn bridges with previous schools that they worked at, so they don't throw them under the bus either. So we'll just have to see. I mean, it's going to be really. I'm really curious, like everybody else that thinks surrounding Tulane, to see if he's going to work out and maintain the success they've had through two coaches over the last 4 years.
No, there's so much at stake, Brett. I mean, it's a top 25 program now. It took a lot to get there. I'm sure dismantling it is a lot easier than building it up. It could be dismantled in 6 months or a year and have trouble recovering. So it's sustaining it or even taking it up to another level. And it's a precarious time if you're a Green Wave fan. You're hoping and wishing that this team continues the path they're on right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, administratively and facility-wise, I think they're still moving in the right direction. By the time that they come back for August camp and maybe even spring practice, that indoor bubble will be ready. there'll be an additional.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
thing
ready
they
in a
can
couple
use.
of weeks, I think.
Yeah, so that's an additional facility that they can use on campus to practice in them, regardless of the weather, without having to bus over to the Saints indoor like they have been over the last 4 years.
Yep.
I mean, that's not a panacea for the whatever ills they may have, but I think it just really, really helps when they don't have to go off campus to practice indoors. I mean, they were still obviously very, very competitive having to do it that way, and the Saints were very generous in helping them with that. But the point is, that when that thing opens, that's another step towards improving facilities on campus for the football team. And it's pretty clear that the president of the school, Fitz, and David Harris, the AD, are aligned in their support for the program, and that's really, really important. I think coaches always talk about having to have sort of that synergy with the AD and the president, the administration, feeling like they are all kind of working towards the same thing to really make a team successful. So, because it requires that, I think when you're talking about like the collectives that raise money to pay players, right?
Yep.
And also that raise money to improve facilities. So, the investment's there, the effort's there. The coach isn't going to feel like he's having to do it all by himself and convince people to get on board. And so that could be a much better situation for Will Hall and propel him to a level of success that he did not have at Southern Miss. And we'll just have to see.
Brett Martell's with us, another Martell Monday. Hey, Latram's with you. The new year, about 10 days away. Looking for a New Year's resolution? It might be a new job, a new career. Latram.com. Go to their website. They have a full listing of positions available, dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs available at Latram.com. Go to the website right now, Latram.com. Hey, Brett, Lane Kiffin appears to just be a workaholic. Like, don't like him, don't like his personality, kind of don't how he come to LSU. You're a Tiger fan, kind of maybe left a little bitter taste in your mouth. Some are happy as can be, have no bitter taste. I'm talking about the ones that might. Wasn't the smoothest situation. Anyway, the guy's like at his yoga class at 6 a.m. He's at the office a few hours before that, like 4 a.m. He works till like 10, 11 at night. He's football, and football. I mean, just the little bit I've heard about his work ethic, just how dedicated he is to football, you see why he's successful.
Yeah. Again, I think it's not uncommon for people who are extremely talented in one area, exceptionally talented. And I don't want to say just one area, but in the area, where they work, where their concentration is.
Yeah.
To have issues in other areas of life, right? And that makes them very easy to criticize. But, I think you have to look at what does LSU and LSU's fan base want from a head coach? Do they want a nice guy, or do they want someone who wins?
Yeah, no doubt.
And obviously, I don't know about win at all costs. I mean, you want someone who can also represent that you feel like is reliable and honest and represents the university with class. But if he's a little, socially awkward or says controversial things once in a while, or I don't know, has some social habits that
awkwardness.
I mean, I don't know. Some people are willing to live with those,
No, especially when you win, or you can all of a sudden they become great traits. When you're losing, they're irritating. So, no, there's no doubt about it. But the guy puts in the hours, puts in the time. Even the biggest naysayer of Lane Kiffin would have to admit this guy just busts his tail and is so focused on football. Like I said, you can kind of see how he's successful. Hey, Brett, I'm going to knock out a quick break. When we come back, talk about a couple of local teams that have win streaks going when before all they had were losing streaks going. It's Christmas week. Hey, if you need air conditioning or heat help, Total Maintenance is there. Even on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, day after Christmas, Total Maintenance is there. If you need AC help on Christmas Day in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
When you need a new fence or automatic gate at your property or place of business, anywhere in Metro New Orleans, you got to see the Fence Man. For over 20 years, the Fence Man has been taking care of residential and commercial customers affordably and reliably. The Fence Man uses only the highest quality materials and products, whether wood, aluminum, or chain link. For fences and automatic gates, you got to see the Fence Man. TheFenceman-NewOrleans.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Artificial turf custom golf putting green. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
If it's a weekday afternoon in New Orleans, it's got to be
It's a party every week, baby. Check it out.
Corey Johnson.
Every day on radio, on television, every weekday, 4 to 6 o'clock on radio, television, YouTube, X. After the fact, check out the podcast on Spotify. And also short clips on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. Corey Johnson, the Neutral Ground. You can check out our website, CoreyTalks.com. Has all that info there. Every day it's brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra and Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood. Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner, home of Lamarck Ford, Lamarck Lincoln, pre-owned service, collision repairs, parts. Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood, your commercial truck, van, and SUV dealer. Ronnie Lamarck's got you covered from the lake to the river, bridging the gap. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra and Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood. Brett Martell's with us from the Associated Press. Hey, Brett, before we get into these win streaks, how can folks check out what you write for the Associated Press, your columns and the like?
Sure. Either apnews.com on a laptop or the AP News app, which is free on smartphones and has news from all over the world in addition to sports.
The Saints are on a 3-game win streak, Brett. The latest win yesterday in the Dome. Tyler Shuck appears to be the man.
Well, I mean, when you consider that he's 4-3 as a starter,
yep,
after taking over for a team that was 1-7, it is certainly encouraging. You can debate whether the Saints have had a somewhat easier schedule with Shuck at quarterback, but I mean, I just think that when you look at the fact that he was clutch in the fourth quarter in beating Tampa Bay and Carolina back to back, when those teams are, trying to battle it out to win the division, he obviously, they struggled to finish some drives in the first half yesterday, but he was really, really good in the second half. Had a 300-yard game, he's. If you think about Mickey Loomis and his philosophy, he doesn't really like to draft quarterbacks with high first-round picks because he thinks that it's a position that's very, very difficult to determine whether they're going to be a bust or a slam dunk. There's been a lot of busts at that position, and it really set the franchise back. And I know he just thinks, with his accountant mind, and people can disagree or agree or whatever, but I think he just thinks that, when you're talking about a sport that has, 46 guys active on game day and, defense, offense, special teams, and all that goes into it, using a really, really high draft pick on a quarterback is risky. And so, the 40th was about as high as they've drafted a quarterback in a long time, and he's starting to pan out. There's been other quarterbacks drafted even further back than that have obviously done really well. And so I think the better he does, the less likely the Saints are to look at a quarterback in the draft, first of all. Second of all, I mean, even from his first day in the spring when I saw him, I mean, he looked like a great athlete, and the question was just whether he had, the intangibles to learn quickly at the NFL level and grow into a really good quarterback. And it's very, very encouraging signs, because he's not only a rookie. I mean, he didn't really play the first 8 games. 4-3 now. The Jets are not a good team, and the Saints defense played really well. And so Shuck had didn't have a lot of pressure on him in that game yesterday. But when he did have pressure against Carolina, he came through, and same on the road in Tampa Bay. So, it's hard to see too many problems given his level of experience and the performance of the team throughout the year, with his performance so far.
Brett Martell's with us from the Associated Press. Hey, Brett, 3 different players, 3 different situations, all in their mid-30s, tail end of their careers. I'll ask it this way. Next season, do you expect Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan, and Taysom Hill to be on this Saints roster?
Well, I do expect Cam Jordan to be on the roster.
Wow.
He's not under contract, but he's leading the team in sacks with 8 sacks. I think that, he would rather, if some established Super Bowl contender comes knocking and has an offer for him that's better than what the Saints have, then he has to consider that, just because he's never won a championship. Although he probably should have won one his rookie year when the Saints had one of the best teams that they've ever had, and just, had bad luck in San Francisco and, in the 2011-12 playoffs. But he maybe 2018 too. I mean, he was on 2 teams really that could have won it all.
Yep.
So look, he sounds very encouraged by the direction the Saints are going now, and if they give him a reasonable offer for next year, he's inclined to come back. I know he doesn't want to retire.
Yeah, it seems that way. Taysom Hill, I don't know if it's like, I'm not coming back to the Saints because my contract's up, I'm retiring, go to Denver. What's up with Taysom Hill?
Yeah, I think Taysom Hill has a lot to think about, His position is a little bit different than Cam Jordan's, and he has had a major knee injury, last season, and he's in his position, he can kind of take a beating.
Yep.
And is it worth it at age 36, 37, depending on what the money is? There's a calculation that goes into it when you're a father and a husband, and his family is from Pocatello, Idaho. I mean, he's kind of far flung from them when he's in New Orleans. New Orleans is a special place for him, obviously, because his professional career flourished here.
Yep.
And I think that's why he was so emotional, is because he really doesn't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the future's uncertain for him. What about Demario Davis?
I think Demario Davis is going to play next year somewhere, and it's just a question of whether he wants to stay here and what kind of offers he gets. But the thing is, if these guys think they can play, and you worry about an imminent drop off at their age, but they haven't dropped off yet. So if they want to play, someone's going to give them a chance.
Yep.
I think the people that are most likely to give them a chance are the Saints, because the Saints know that even if they do have some kind of physical drop off, their intangibles will help in terms of, leadership in the locker room, mentoring, and having been part of some of the best teams the Saints have ever had.
Yep.
So they know what it looks like when, and they know what it's supposed to look like when you win. So, it's tough. I mean, I think there has to be just some negotiations and some compromise.
Yep.
Keep those two guys around.
Hey, Brett, we'll do it again next week and talk about the Pels. Maybe they continue their win streak. They got 4 in a row. Thanks so much, Brett.
All right. Take care, Corey.
That's Brett Martell. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Christmas week. See you mañana. Straight up 4 o'clock. Be right here. Down, Blue Boy. Down, buddy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.